He says, yeah, it has multiple storylines, Charlotte and Alexa. I will say this: the addition of Sol Ruka and Zarya felt very anticlimactic. They just added them. They just added them, and they
Exactly. Like, didn't Soul and Zarya just lose to Tatum and Izzy, bro? Didn't they just not just lose? Like, why are you just throwing them in there? Like, I could have sworn that Izzy and Tatum was supposed to be in that match. I'm like, what? That's silly booking right there by WWE, bro. I don't know what the heck they doing, bro. I'm like, how do you put a team that has already that has lost to another team that I just mentioned and put them in the match and they didn't even win. They just lost. That just doesn't make sense to me, bro. Like, for real, bro. I just don't understand, bro. They just cheated Tatum and Izzy. Like, they just didn't beat Soul and Zarya. Like, that didn't make sense, bro. They just throwing stuff together, bro. But I'm gonna let Mike keep continuing to talk.
literally lost a tag team match to um Izzy Dame and Tatum Paxley on NXT just recently. So that just felt weird. JC and Jordan have been building for weeks. Have they? I mean, yeah, Jordan's quest to go after the women's championship, but she had to go through a tournament. And JC's kind of also side feuding with Blake Monroe, which is going to happen on the NXT show. And then he goes in, although Trish and Tiff was a last minute deal, they made sense of it. Trish helped Tiffany out months ago at Elimination Chamber when she needed help. So Tiffany giving her a title match is a token of her appreciation. Cool. But Tiffany has had no credible challengers outside of really Nia Jackson. Then they had the one match with Charlotte at WrestleMania. And then Julian just drops this one line at me at the end saying, hope this helps. I didn't like that. This is the whole like tribal thing. I was not trying to be an AEW schmuck and say, hey, this doesn't make sense. This doesn't make sense. My whole
Yeah,
issue
dude was just being
with the way
disrespectful.
that WWE has handled Evolution, they've done a really good job, and it's a testament to how great their women's division is that they were able to put together a 6-7 match card. And let's be real, women's United States Championship match. I don't know if Julia may be in the Battle Royal, but that's still not there. You're going to have a bunch of women there. It's going to feel like somewhat of a big deal, but the way that they handled this was like just another event. And outside of Lyra, Becky, and Bayley for the Intercontinental Championship, none of these matches really feel distinguishedly special because of the recency build. I understand that feuds are there and stuff is there. Jade and Naomi's going there. They're going to have a no holds barred match. That's great. Tiffany and Trish feels like a dream match of sorts because Tiffany, is the star of now and the future and the present right now. And Trish is Trish. It's so, but how Trish got this match was kind of thrown together. Io and Rhea, like Io and Rhea really had this friendly thing, and then Io just calls out Rhea. And I understand, the Liv Morgan component.
Bro, they basically had the champions call out the challengers, bro. Like that, you people talk about booking, bro. That's one of the worst booking decisions right there. I'm like, yo, why is the champions calling out the challengers and going to the challenge? Hey, I want that title. Oh, I mean, hey, I want you to be my challenger. I'm like, what? Ain't that something that ain't that something the challenger's supposed to do? Like, I don't get that right there. Like, Jay in the ring with Tiffany discussing, oh yeah, I'm coming for that title soon at SummerSlam, and she talking about something. Oh wait, Jay, it ain't gonna be you right now. I got you at SummerSlam, but who I will be facing at Evolution is Trish. I'm like, how you gonna just? They had you announce her to come for her to come out instead of Trish coming out and coming up to her and saying what she's saying, respecting her and all that because they both faces. And she said, but I want a shot at, instead of having Trish saying, oh, I want a shot at that title. And they could have did, instead of having Rhea come out to start the show, they could have had Io come out and saying that, and talk about Evolution and stuff a little bit, and saying that she need a challenger. No, probably not even that. Have her go looking around for a challenger or something like that. And then Rhea come out, and that's how they could have did it. But no, they just had these champions come up to these challengers or call these challengers out. And oh, bro, man, it's just crazy to me, bro. It really is.
Of this kind of screwed this up a little bit. But Io's really not defended that title since WrestleMania. So that's probably your main event. And then, the tag team match, there's some stories that are interconnecting there, but then you add an NXT tag team that just lost. Some of this just feels really thrown together and forced. And had they given this more time, had they built this over and given dedicated more television time rather than just throwing a bunch of video packages together and, hey, Kabuki Warriors, they reunite and they're automatically in the tag team match. Like this, they they've overdone their hand with putting too many events side by side by side, and the condensed calendar, I've talked about this before, has really hurt the product. It's really hurt the product. So while I appreciate people like Julian in the fan base and in the internet wrestling community, and like I said, he's got a much bigger following than me, but coming at me for having constructive criticism about WWE and how really this isn't about women's wrestling. Let's get real. This is not if they really wanted to give an actual platform to women's wrestling, they would have given them their own standalone event, which was rumored to happen on July the 5th, which would have been weird because it would have been the day after 4th of July. They would have had it in at Mohegan Sun in Connecticut. And, hey, that would have been fine. But they decided to put it the day after, all in Texas, the day after Saturday night's main event, just lumped it together after Night of Champions a couple weeks prior. And it just feels like another event. And yes, some of their women's feuds have kind of been carrying through things here. But my problem is like your two top championship matches were basically thrown together last week. Granted, they do have some level of build to it, but the one match that you've dedicated literally any ounce of television time to that feels the most interesting and honestly feels like the biggest deal going into this show is the Intercontinental Championship match, because Lyra, Becky, and Bayley have been fucking killing it. It might be, I'll be honest with you, it's the best feud going in women's wrestling right now, and it might be one of the best feuds going in just all of wrestling in general. That's how highly I feel about those women. Yes, it may have come across maybe to some people as a little bit hammed up, but Lyra's really come out of her shell. Becky's been great. Bayley's been great. They really have shown a detest for one another. And the championship is there, but they also don't like each other. So that's something that I like to see. With Io and Rhea, it's like, hey, cool. Our two biggest women's superstars face for the women's championship. Trish Stratus, greatest woman ever. She's going to be facing Tiffany Stratton. It feels like they could have done a lot more than they did. They still put together a really good card, but some of the build, and like I said, having to lecture me on, I watch these shows, and some people were attacking me for basically saying I don't watch the shows. I do watch the shows. And guys, I understand what's been going on, but asking like the average fan or something like that to basically be like, hey, something that happened a couple months ago. Well, I understand what's going on, but a pay-per-view build is you're dedicating TV time to get these matches on the show. All these things came together within the last 10 days. There was one match announced for this show prior to last Monday. It's a good card. I don't doubt it's going to be a good show, but the women were not put in a great position to be successful here. That's my whole thing. This could have been much bigger than it was. And
He's right, man, because you literally had them going after AEW's big pay per view, like, and then they gotta face Beyonce and all that across the street and all that. It's like there's a lot of stuff going on that they got them up against, these women up against, man, and it's crazy, man, that they just threw them into the fire like that. But I feel like they're gonna kill it, bro. And like he said, it's a good match card and stuff like that. But the way it was built up is really insane. That's why I said Liv Morgan injury kind of probably messed up with things though. But because they probably would have started building like the week where Liv and Nikki was having that they feud promo. But I don't know, bro. I don't know, but yeah, bro. We'll just have to see, man, because it's just crazy right now. But yeah, man.
I don't think this was a great representation or a great, like, showcase of women's wrestling that it could have been, a statement that it could have been. And even the first evolution was a statement, but really we all knew why they were doing that. We all knew why they were doing that. I mean, come on. They gave the women a show because the men did a show in Saudi Arabia and they didn't allow Saudi Arabia to have women there. And now this one is kind of hamstrung because their motive is completely about just burying AEW when it should be about showcasing your women's division. And if that was really the goal of this weekend and was
Right,
the goal
right,
of this
right,
event
right.
evolution, then you would have hated way more television time to this. I understand that feuds, these things have been percolating across the women's division for a while. But that being said, it could have been handled a lot better. That's my whole point. So anyway, that's my TED talk here on this one. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys soon. Bye bye.
But yeah, man, shout out to Mike, man, from off the Mike Sports Network and off the top rope for making this video, bro. Tell me how y'all feel, bro. Do y'all feel like WWE could have made this TLE for the woman much bigger than what it feel right now? Cause I don't know if people I don't know how everybody else feel, how they really hype for it or anything. I'm gonna still see it, but I don't want to say I'm hyped for it, but cause how I don't know, bro. I just really don't know. And then you got fans of this product just getting mad at what he's saying, and he's just nothing. He ain't doing nothing but just telling the truth. That's all he doing. How the heck you gonna come at him for what he's saying, bro? Just listen to what he's saying, bro, and stop trying to tell other people, oh man, you just don't know what you're talking about, bro. Like this is built. Like he was right. Some of these storylines are built and like they got stuff, but some of them, bro, they just stew together, just like the Rhea one and the Trish and Tiffany one. Like I don't know, bro. Like this, I don't know why fans be doing that, bro. I really don't. But anyways, G Man out.